Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have some more cards revealed today that I'm going to go over. We have, first of all, some hunter cards, big hunter cards. Just a quick overview. Big Dreams, one of them. Mr. Mookler, Banjo Saw, and Stranglethorn Heart. So lots of expensive cards here. First card, Big Dreams. Summon the highest cost beast from your hand. It goes dormant for 2 turns. So my first thought with this card, it reminds me, excuse me, of this card in Demon Hunter. Sigil Reckoning. 5 mana starting next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. There's a couple of differences, namely this is random demon, whereas the other one is targeted to the highest cost beast. Big beasts maybe are a bit better than big demons, but I don't know if they're like massively bigger to make up for the downside of this having dormant for 2 turns. Dormant for 2 turns, if it's got Rush, which the Banjo Sword does, which we'll have a closer look at in a little bit, means that you play this on 5 and you get to attack with it on 7. So that's if it has Rush. If it doesn't have Rush, you don't get to attack with it till 8, so it's very slow in that regard. Big Dreams, I mean, we saw Sigil of Reckoning, and Sigil of Reckoning looked like a very good card. Like, it pulls out a big demon, cheats a lot of mana. In doing so, and you like have one big turn where you can play a big demon and do something else as well on the same turn. And usually that's pretty strong in Hearthstone, but this card was not very good at all. And it's not like the big demons were particularly bad in its lifetime. This dude, and we had Z-Lag, we had Illidar Inquisitor, all these pretty good to cheat out. This one included as well. But the card is just not great. And I can't imagine this is going to be much different, even though we are can run these potentially new ones, particularly the Banjo Saw would be a good one. There's just a lot of stats to cheat out with Rush. But yeah, I'm not sold on the Big Dreams. I feel like it's just too slow, too situational. And the payoff's just not big enough, even though it's called Big Dreams. That's my take on the card. But the other stuff, maybe there's some promise here. Got the legendary Mr. Mookler. Those who remember the tutorial, there was Mookler's Big Brother, which was a 6 mana 10/10. So many stats for so little mana. Well, Mookler's grown up a bit and it also is a 6 mana 10/10 now. Rush Battlecry, fill your opponent's hands with bananas. So 6 mana 10/10 Rush, lot of stats. Fill your opponent's hand with bananas. You overdraw them, which is sometimes good. But giving them a bunch of bananas is sometimes bad for some decks, which if you're behind on board, you're essentially giving your opponent any amount of face damage buff that they want for the remaining mana. If it's turn 6, it's like +6/+6, maybe, if their hand's small, which is not great for you. But this is kind of good to cheat out, maybe. On turn 4, you can do it alongside the weapon that discounts a beast from your deck. If you high roll this, you can play this on 4. That's kind of game ending if that happens. You can also get this out from the Sunken Saber. 2, maybe potential there. If you're like a very aggressive deck who's like meant to be ahead on board, maybe this is a pretty good turn 6 play because your opponent really can't utilize the bananas because you're going to have the board control in most matchups. But then again, like aggressive style hunters kind of around turn 6 tend to switch off the board and go for like weaving the hero power and weapon attacks to face, burn damage, that sort of thing to finish out the game. So I don't know if this is too late for even that sort of style of deck. It is a lot of stats there. It's not bad. The Banjo Saw, 10 mana 5/6 beast, rush. Whenever this attacks, draw a beast and gain its stats. Oh, this is a big boy. If you're running only big beasts, which you would be with this card, and you cheat it out, there's a few ways to cheat it out, but nothing's like super spectacular. Maybe the best way would be the Sunken Saber. But the nice thing, this thing, tax draw a beast. If you're playing Mr. Mookler, you get that, for instance, +10/+10 when this attacks. And if it survives, it attacks again. It does say whenever this attacks, so if you're going face with it, it's going to get the buff before it deals its damage, which is great. So play this, hit a Mr. Mookler or something, and this is suddenly a 15/6 when you take a trade. If you go face with that again, maybe it's going to be actually like 20 damage to face or something crazy. So big ceiling for this to do a lot of face damage if it connects. It looks pretty decent. It's a very good one to cheat out. Plus it gives you some value, like if you can play some other beasts in the deck. I don't think Hunter has like great big beast synergy. They are losing quite a bit. I'll just remind you guys of what they're losing, because it's quite relevant. They are losing this. They're losing these. Kind of a big deal. They're losing this. Also a big deal. And maybe the biggest of deals, they're losing Pet Collector. Which means that the Sunken Saber synergy stuff to get this going is a lot less consistent. And there hasn't really been something that replaces it too well, in my opinion, shown so far. But what do they keep for cheating out stuff? They got this spell. Discover a beast from your deck and summon it. Manifest 10, also summon a copy of it. You can use this to cheat out these 10 drops, at least, on turn 7, but it's still pretty late in the game sometimes to be doing that compared to what we had before of the big beast summoners. We got also the legendary spell, Stranglethorn Heart. 10 mana, tradable. Resurrect all friendly beasts that cost 5 or more, so this is a big payoff card for your big beast hunter. 10 mana though. Reses all beasts that cost 5 or more, so how many beasts can you really cheat out that cost 5 or more is the question. It's kind of hard to, I think. Like I said, there's no Wing Commander Ickman to get a bunch of them on the same turn. There's no Pet Collector to get on 5. So thing's going to. This one's staying, but yeah. It's a big flashy spell. You could maybe conceivably have a deck with King Crush and Faithful Companions. Get out the King Crushers, res them. But that just seems a bit too far-fetched to me, to be honest, for this to be that great of a card. It does have tradables, so it's not like completely dead card in your hand. You can always trade it for something else, but we've seen in the past, tradable cards actually need to help your deck most of the time, rather than just be for the 1-mana draw effect, for them to be good cards. And I'm not really believing in these big beast things. The only one that looks good to me is the Banjo Saw. That looks potentially kind of good, but like I feel like there's not enough ways to cheat these out effectively. Like, of course there's the Big Dreams, but I just don't think this card's very good. So if this is the glue that's holding the big beast together, I think it's going to fall apart. Let me know your thoughts on that though. Let's move on to, we'll come to Druid in a sec. We've got Rogue next, which is down. Here we go. Rogue has got some weapon support cards. Harmonic Hip Hop, which is a new harmonic/dissonant card for Rogue. Deal 1 damage, give your weapon +3 attack, swap each turn. So each turn it's either going to be deal 1, give your weapon 3 attack, or deal 3, give your weapon +1 attack. That's not too bad. I'm not sure what orientation I really want to be better. And also there's a problem with this archetype that I'll come to in a sec, was that it doesn't really have great weapons as a baseline to start putting these buffs on like it had in the past. Also for them we have Mic Drop, draw 2 cards, Finale, give your weapon +2 attack. We have MC Blingtron as well. Battlecry, both players equip 1/2 microphones. Your opponents increase all damage they take by 1. So this one's really cool. You both get a weapon, but their weapon gives them like a void touch attendant effect, where every damage they take increased by 1. And if they don't have a weapon of their own, they can't actually get rid of the microphone on their next turn. So they're going to take 2 turns of it. They swing on their turn, and then they still got a 1/1 microphone. And if you've got Taunt as well, maybe it's even hard for them to swing at all, potentially. How strong is this though? This is pretty good if you're playing a very spread-wide tokeny deck as a finisher, potentially, or a deck that has a lot of sources of ping damage. So you could look at like maybe the Asalor combo. You set that up with the Blingtron, might do a lot of face damage. I'm not sure if that's like super viable though. There's no scabs anymore in the game, so Rogue getting to like turn 10 whilst having these kind of slow cards maybe isn't as viable a strategy anymore. There's also Beatboxer. Combo, deal 4 damage randomly split among all enemies. So maybe this is the payoff. It's a bit more realistic than Asalor or MC Blingtron. So if they don't have a board and you have this up, your Beatboxer is going to do 8 face damage, and maybe you can Shadow Step this as well. Do it again. Do it so much face damage with this thing. You're playing like a combo Rogue. Rogue's got pretty decent board control and removal, so maybe it's quite easy to set up for doing this face damage with the MC Blingtron. I can see it. Not sure how strong the deck is as a whole. Like, you kind of want to play this in the combo Rogue deck, but I don't think it's that great with the MC Blingtron, because if you're using your combo pieces to get the Record Scratcher to refresh more, then you don't really have the damage left for the Blingtron, you know? I'm not sure those two actually go together too well. This card makes more sense to me, other than with that 3-mana mech in like a Pirate Rogue deck. Rogue actually has a really nice Pirate on turn 1. This one, very, very good. Very good with the 5-man legendary as well, because you've got the ping, you've got a high damage minion. And there's also Jolly Roger, which means you're going to have kind of a wide board a lot of the time going into turn 5. And if you have all these 1/1 pirates, the Blingtron is just going to do so much face damage. So maybe just a finisher for a tokeny pirate deck. So we also have these weapon buff cards. Mic Drop. Draw 2 cards finale, give your weapon +2 attack. So Arcane Intellect with a bonus effect. You do have to have a weapon equipped. Weapons for Rogue. There's not a lot of good ones. This one is going, actually. Which they're actually going to miss quite a bit. Of course, they have the weapon themselves, the hero power. This one also going. This one's going. This one's staying in the deck. You could maybe use this as a baseline, but it's like turn 3 to get it going. This one going, this one also going. So, and there's nothing really introduced in the core set to help them with this. So we're really looking at Swordfish and the hero power. Now it might be the case that these weapon buff cards are so good that like you could run a tour guide to get around the fact that you have to spend 2 mana on your hero power. But I'm not so sure. They're all a little bit awkward. This one you can prep at least. But the thing is, it's got a finale effect, so you do have to prep it as your last play on the turn. And often is the case with draw cards, you kind of want to start the turn with them. So a little bit anti-synergy between Draw 2 and Finale, to be honest. But, I mean, there's maybe some potential for this. Like, within Pirate Rogue itself, particularly if you're just going for the Swordfish, it might be pretty strong. Because there is some support for this in the core set coming as well, because we have the reintroduction of Dread Corsair, which is extremely good with Swordfish. Not only is an extra pirate to make sure Swordfish go off more often, but it's just a 0 mana 3/3 whenever you get this off. So, looking like Pirates are most likely the home for this. I don't know if you really want to be playing this one as well. It is a lot of face damage, particularly on this mode. You double dip with it. But maybe it's a little situational. We'll see. Looks like a lot of competing ideas. I don't know what kind of rogues are going to emerge, but most of this doesn't look like it's supporting at least the current rogue types we're seeing, so that's nice and exciting. Alright, moving on to Druid. Druid just got some new cards that I haven't had too much time to process, so we'll do it now. We have Free Spirit, 1 mana 1/2 undead beast, not priest. Battlecry and Death Rattle. Your hero power gains 1 more armor this game. A 1-drop, improving your hero power to be a bit more defensive. 1 mana 1/2 beast and undead. So some synergy with previous set, which had some undead Druid cards. A little bit of synergy there. Don't know if that's the route you want to go down, but stuff like this, for example, and Wither. But mostly going to be just like a hero power archetype. Peaceful Piper is going to shoot at both this and the Groovy Cat, which we'll get onto. 2 mana, 2/1 Battlecry and Death Rattle. Your hero power gives you 1 more attack this game. So, yeah, this thing die. You got a 3 attack hero power, not too bad. Suddenly can start maybe behaving a bit like Ping Mage and use that as your win con. There isn't the same tools that Ping Mage has. For one thing, you have to actually attack into minions if you want to kill them, which hurts your hero a lot more. And there's no Reckless Apprentice or Mordresh, which were very key factors in that deck as well. But maybe you get a bit compensated because you can play kind of this tokeny early game with the Peaceful Piper, Free Spirit, Groovy Cat. Play all this stuff so you're a little bit like an aggro deck early on, whilst also ramping up your hero power. And just use that to finish them off with the face damage, rather than play the sort of control-y style that Ping Mage used to. We also have Spread the Word. Draw 2 cards, cost 1 less for each attack your hero has. Now, this is pretty nice, especially if you've already played Groovy Cat. Go up to 3. You have things like Pounce still in the core set. You have Rake in the new set. Rake is a really strong card and it's going to get boosted by all of this stuff as well. So maybe this is going to come down to 0 a lot of the time, and that's pretty powerful. Finally, we have legendary Zoc Fog Snout. 7 mana 6/6 Quillbore. Battlecry summon 2 1/1 Quillbore with Taunt. Improved by your hero attack and armor gained this turn. So I imagine the attack is improved by your attack and the health is improved by your armor. So kind of a lot of stats, but it has to be this turn. This turn really holds it back quite a bit. 7 mana already. So it's hard to combo with gaining a lot of armor or a lot of attack on the same turn. There are a couple of cards that bolster it a little bit for Druid. The armor one's a little bit easier to achieve, I think. We have, of course, Underking, which you can gain the 6 armor pretty easily before you play this minion, so then suddenly the taunts are quite a bit bigger. We also have Chitinous Plating, which can do the same thing. So maybe this card actually works a bit worse in the gain attack sort of deck, and it's a bit easier to do with the gain armor. I mean, it could be a lot of stats. It just seems a bit hard to and a bit clunky to make work, maybe. Even if you've improved your hero power, to actually spend 2 mana on doing it and then playing that dude afterwards, it's a bit of a tall ask. I guess you are a ramp druid, potentially, with this archetype. You have maybe this card to tutor this one to make it cheaper and a bit easier to play. So on turn 10, you could like do a rake turn, hero power, then play this, and then perhaps you're getting like a little bit more bang for your buck. But as it stands, it does seem a little bit hard to activate. I think as long as you're gaining some armor at a reasonable pace, maybe this is fine, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer currently. We'll see. That's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I mean, some of these Druid cards look really powerful. The Legendary, not impressing me that much right now, but maybe if I see it in action, it looks a little bit stronger. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will see you in the next one.